Right, we're turning back to these animals, known as African painted dogs. Niabi Zoo has been caring for several of these endangered animals since 2023. In our first half hour, we told you about a partnership between Niabi and a painted dog research team in Zimbabwe. And now we've got some events to talk about where you can help support painted dogs conservation efforts. But first, we're joined once again by Joel Vanderbush, Curator of Conservation and Education from Niabi Zoo, and Dr. Greg Rasmussen from Painted Dog Research in Zimbabwe. Thank you both so much for being back with us.
It's great.
All right, in our first half hour, we talked about the partnership you've had for 8 years, the ways that Niabi has helped fundraise money for painted dog research, your conservation efforts. Now let's talk about what you've been doing, Greg, since you've been here. So where are you going right after you're done with us?
Where am I going, Joe? You're in charge of my man. He's my manager.
That's right. We're going to the Rock Island County Forest Preserve Commission to speak before them, to also talk about this partnership because, you know, as they are responsible for approving our budget there at the zoo, it's also good for them to know like what we are really involved with. Like they only see things on paper sometimes, and to see, you know, that living embodiment of this relationship and the images of the work that we're doing when we are in country there, you know, I think it really epitomizes what Niabi Zoo has become. You know, because conservation is our purpose. That's why zoos exist, and we're demonstrating that, you know, every day. Not just through this, but obviously all of the other conservation work that we're doing at the zoo, but this is one really great example that demonstrates that for everyone.
And a little bit of history is being made. Is this the first time you've had a conservation partner come speak to the commission?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
you know, because usually if they call up, they're like, hey, can someone update us from the zoo? And we're like, well, it just happens to be on that particular day. Someone might be here in country, so
I love it.
Why don't we have him come and talk a little bit more, you know, about that impact that we're having globally.
Well, for people who are not on the commission, you guys at home can still get involved. Tell me about the Pint event happening tomorrow.
Pints for painted dogs.
Oh, absolutely. Well, obviously you know about Pints for Preservation, right? And most people in the Quad Cities do. We have that really great event in the fall, but we wanted to do a little spin-off of that because Pints for Preservation is exactly for preserving things. Well, we want to preserve some painted dogs, so we're like, let's do Pints for Painted Dogs instead. And so, of course, one of our great supporters here in the Quad Cities is the Front Street Brewery, right? So they're always at Pints, and we were like, hey, what if we were to do something there at the tap room? And they were like, absolutely. And so they've been super welcoming to help. And as a matter of fact, $1 of every beer sold that night will go to Painted Dog Research.
And this is tomorrow night.
So bring your best beer drinking buddies.
That's right.
I want everyone to drink as many beers as one driver.
Absolutely, that's right. Be responsible.
Right.
Yep.
But if someone's not a beer lover, you have a wine night coming up on Friday.
Absolutely.
That's for all the ladies.
Or the other gentleman who might like wine, that's okay too. But, you know, we wanted to appeal to both sides, right? To the beer drinkers or the wine drinkers, and of course the artistic folks.
Yes.
So, of course, we've got the Pints for Painted Dogs on Wednesday, starting at 6:30 at Front Street, but then on Friday, starting at 6 o'clock, right there at the Niabi Zoo Discovery Center, Greg will be talking for about the first half hour about painted dogs to kind of get people a good feel of what these animals are, so show some good images. And then Pat Bereskin is coming, which of course she helps out at Figge Art Museum and her own studio. She will be demonstrating how to paint a painted dog while of course we are enjoying wine. And I was like, Greg, we need to get you to paint a painted dog. And he's
oh, no. I can't paint to save my life.
But that's why a professional artist is going to be helping him out. So even if people out there think that they can't paint, if we can get Greg to paint, they can come paint too.
It's for a great cause,
It is. It is. And that, of course, both of these events are fundraisers for the zoo. It is free to get into Pints for Painted Dogs, but we do ask for some donations if people are willing to do it. Or, of course, they have the opportunity to purchase the items like this book or the snare art and some other items to help support. And then, of course, there at the wine and paint event, that is a ticketed event, so they do have to register in advance, and then we will have these same opportunities for them to get these as well.
Gentlemen, for all that you've got going on right now, we are so grateful for your time and the work that you both do. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's our pleasure.
Pleasure.
See
you tomorrow.
Yes, and Friday, because for you guys at home, we got all the details about both of these events, plus more on the Painted Dog Research Program up at WQAD.com under the As Seen on TV tab.